Kia ora everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Christchurch International Airport. I'm in this lovely outdoor area just near the control tower. And today I'm going to be flying Emirates on board an Airbus A380 in business class from here in Christchurch back to Sydney in Australia. I'm super excited for today's flight because it's my first time flying business class on an A380, so in the upper deck, and first time flying Emirates. So anyways, this is my first time at Christchurch Airport, so I have no clue where the international check-in is. I believe it's just near the domestic since there's only one terminal here. So let's go in and find check-in. Just so you know, the last night since I flew in from Wellington yesterday, I've been staying at the Novotel here at Christchurch Airport. It's a fantastic airport with some incredible views. I'll put it on screen now, but I would highly recommend it. Okay, so I've just entered the terminal. There's signs for domestic and departure gates and also check-in. So I'm going to assume the international is just up there as well. So if you take the entrance that I did, which is not the most efficient one, then you have to keep going down and then turn left. Or if you take this one here, then you're straight into the check-in area. So I was correct in saying that international check-in is with domestic, just next to it. And here's my check-in for today. Emirates EK413 to Sydney. Code shared with Qantas QF8765, which is actually what I'm booked on. Check-in is now completed. I've got my boarding pass. Since I was the first in the priority line, which includes business, first class and priority like frequent fly members. So because I was first there were a few people lined up not long after I got there. I got checked in super quickly by the super friendly staff. With Emirates here, you have the option of doing online check-in as well. You still have to drop your bags here and stuff, there's no self-bag drop. But it was interesting to see, I didn't do it either, but absolutely no one that I saw there actually did online check-in. So the queue for regular economy and premium economy was super long, even just as it started. So my advice would be to check in online if you can. As I said, super friendly staff there. I did just ask out of interest about how much an upgrade would cost. She said 900 New Zealand dollars. It's significantly cheaper to just buy an outright first class ticket. Anyways, I just realised I was going the wrong way. Here's the international departures area. So let's go here and clear security and immigration. Alright, so security has now been completed, including immigration. It took just 3 minutes. So it's pretty quiet and very good here. It's also probably never all that busy since Christchurch Airport at the moment isn't as busy as it used to be pre-COVID due to some airlines not having returned yet. I'll explain more about that later, but for now, here's duty free. Looks like a pretty solid area. You've got plenty of stuff that you can buy. Looks like about halfway through duty free, there's the New Zealand Lounge. We don't have access to that today, but we do have access to the Manaia Lounge, which the friendly check-in staff told me. The New Zealand Lounge does look nice though. Now just out here at the international departures area. It's quite crowded, there's quite a few people here, but at least it's got a fair bit of natural light, and there's still quite a few shops out here. Here at Christchurch International Airport, the vast majority of international flights go to East Australia. The only ones that don't, as far as I'm aware, are Fiji Airways 737 MAX service to Nadi and this Emirates Airbus A380 that goes to Dubai via Sydney. So I guess you could still count that as an East Australian flight. However, pre-COVID there used to be some other airlines and a couple of them are returning later this year, such as China Southern to Guangzhou and Cathay Pacific to Hong Kong. Cathay Pacific service will be seasonal and there's going to be a brand new route with United Airlines from Christchurch to San Francisco. Alright, so here we are at the Manaia Lounge. Just over there is our gate 30, so it's pretty close. This lounge, I believe, serves basically all other airlines except Air New Zealand, including Emirates, Qantas and Fiji Airways. Let's go in and have a look. We have complimentary access with our business ticket. Welcome to the Manaia Lounge here in Christchurch. It's the only lounge other than the Air New Zealand lounge as far as I'm aware. Okay, now let's have a look at what there is to eat. It's a quiet lounge, so that's why it might sound like I'm whispering, because I am. Here's some delicious looking sweets and a coffee and tea maker. You've got a fridge here with soft drinks and juice. Here you've got some spirits, some sauces. You've got some more sweet things here, gluten-free. Looks delicious. You've got lots of sweets. I have macaroni and cheese and sesame noodles, or a lack of sesame noodles. You have some vegetarian chili, some stuff to complement it. And you've got some nacho chips, some delicious looking sweets there. There's a lot of sweet stuff. Then just over here, you've got raw tomato sauce. Ooh. This is perfect for an Aussie. Sausage rolls and pie. Chicken corn soup. Bread and muffin. Some cold meats and cheeses and that kind of stuff. And some crackers. Overall, I love the selection of food that they have here. It's got a lot of the stuff that I like. It doesn't have an incredibly large selection, but it's actually pretty good nonetheless. Again, I've been to limited international lounges, so I'm not too sure how it compares to some others. In terms of food options, this one's really good. The thing that isn't so great, the vibe it's very relaxed in here, but there's no natural lighting except for what's coming out of there, but that's limited, and there's no view. So that's definitely something that isn't great here, but there's enough seating and PowerPoints, and there's a good food selection. So overall, I think the lounge is pretty good, but I'll let you know once I've spent some more time here. Okay, so that concludes my time in the Manaia Lounge here in Christchurch. To conclude, I thought that the food selection was overall really good. It's one of the better ones that I've seen. Not sure if it's the best, but it's definitely up there. Having said that, as I previously mentioned, I've only been to a handful. The seating options, well, it was mostly just couches. I sat at a little, there was a table and a chair and then like a couch thing. I don't know how to explain it. Hopefully you know what I mean. But they were the only two seating options, and as I said, it was majority couches. I checked out the shower facilities. I'll put something on screen now. The actual shower room themselves were okay. They weren't particularly bad, but they also definitely weren't particularly good. What I don't believe is normal is this sign that's on screen now, where they charge you for some of the amenities. That's not something that I recall ever seeing in a business class lounge like that before. Anyways, as soon as we left the lounge, which is just over there, our gate's just to the right here. Well, this is actually gate 30. It's very interesting, actually. So for premium economy and economy, as well as frequent flyers, you all board through this area here, and then you actually use a different gate, gate 31, for first and business class passengers, which it does say up there. I guess this is because, well, it would speed up the process a bit, I imagine, and as you can see there next to our plane for today, you board through the air bridge that is connected to the top. So my plane for today will be Alpha 6 Echo Victor Foxtrot. It's a late 2018 built Airbus A380-800. It was delivered brand new to Emirates, and was actually reconfigured to their new 4-class configuration just a month and a bit ago. So I'm hoping that would mean that the business class cabin was refreshed, even though the only new seat that they added was premium economy. This aircraft is configured with 14 first class, 76 business class, 56 premium economy and 338 economy. Both premium economy and economy are exclusively on the lower deck, and first and business class are all on the upper deck. This aircraft is also fitted, I believe, along with every other Emirates A380, an onboard bar upstairs and showers in first class. So we don't get to check out the first class showers today, but we do get access to the bar, which I'll show you later. So I'm super excited for that. By the way, I'd just like to quickly mention that I'm super grateful for everyone who's helped to make this happen. That includes every single one of my viewers, my Patreons, and my family. So once again, thank you all so much for that. It means more than you know. So anyway, that's our plan for today. Boarding here with Emirates is supposed to start only 45 minutes before departure, which I feel like that's a little bit ambitious actually, unless they have a super efficient boarding process to get, I think, something like 500 passengers on the Airbus A380. I know there's 2 different jet bridges. That still seems a little bit quick because it's 25 minutes because the gate closes at 5:25 apparently.
Welcome to Emirates flight EK413 to Sydney and Dubai in association with Qantas. Boarding will commence in 10 minutes. Passengers traveling in premium economy and economy class will be boarding through gate 30, and passengers traveling in first and business class will be boarding through gate 31. We ask that you to please refer to the gate number on the boarding pass.
Up there you can see our flight. So, as I mentioned earlier, it does code share with Qantas. It also, after Sydney, continues on to Dubai. So to give you a little bit of quick information on Emirates, the airline was founded in 1985. It's probably one of the best known airlines in the world. It sponsors a lot of sporting programs, I believe. And it's generally just known for being a very good airline. The thing that I find strange is that according to Skytrax, known by a lot of people as Scamtrax, it's a certified 4-star airline, and yet it's the 4th best airline in the world, when there's like about maybe 10 5-star airlines, according to Skytrax, that are below Emirates on the world's best airlines list. So I don't know what's going on there. I definitely don't trust Skytrax. But one thing I do know is that Emirates is a highly regarded airline, especially their first class and economy class. One thing that they're not known as good for is their business class. The A380 is the best business class that Emirates has to offer. In their fleet, they have 90-something Boeing 777s, including most of them being 777-300ERs and a few Boeing 777-200LRs. They also have 129 Airbus A380s in their fleet, including this one. The Boeing 777s are fitted with a 232 configured business class, which is definitely one to avoid if you can get on the A380. By the way, the airline is based out of Dubai and has a absolutely massive network across the world, and it's known very well for connecting people from across the world. Like, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that flew from, say, London to here in Christchurch via Dubai and Sydney.
That's Qantas over there.
Thank you. Wow, it's now time to board, I believe, biggest passenger plane in the world. Well, I know it's the biggest passenger plane in the world. My seat for today is 20k. They're in a staggered configuration, so my seat is closest to the window. The one in front, so the odd numbers, have the console on the right, so you have a bit less privacy and a lesser view of the window. Wow, welcome on board. Waiting for me on my seat is a blanket and a comfy pillow. Welcome on board the Emirates Airbus A380-800 in business class, seat 20k. Now let's go through the seat features. As I said, my seat for today is 20k. There's heaps of leg space, and we'll check out the lie flat bed a little bit later. There's definitely enough space, it's very wide, and you've got a whole lot of area here to just put your hand or a little bag or whatever you want. There's a little storage compartment on the side here, which you can put like a handbag or something in. Can't quite fit my backpack there, so I've put it down there. There's also some very nice boarding music, and the crew are lovely. So yeah, I'm struggling to figure out where to start. You have a massive IFE there, which we'll go through a little bit later. You've also got a tray table that pops out like this. It's really big, and it isn't a fixed position, however. Can I say I am loving the wood that they've put everywhere? It just gives it a really nice and fancy feel. So if you want to pull this out, I believe there's a little button that's under here, which you just have to pull. You've got some controls for the seats just here, which we'll go through later. Then just here you have a separate remote. You've also got a minibar, I believe one of very few, if not the only plane in the skies that has a minibar in business class, so that's absolutely incredible. You've got Pepsi, Sprite, some water, and what looks to be, I'm not sure if that's a beer or something. If it is, I won't be drinking it. You've got a separate little iPad here, so you've got this, which has a touchscreen display, and this, which is pretty awesome. I think you press this button here to release it. Don't know what that does. We can have a look at that later. Just here you have a universal power socket, a USB port, then you've got an HDMI, not sure what that's for, and another USB. You have an individual reading light here, which you can adjust, and it's very nice. Something else that not many airlines have is this. You have blinds that you can control by pressing these buttons. That you should be able to... Oh, I have a feeling that they're locked until after takeoff. That would make sense. There's some very nice mood lighting going on, by the way. And yeah, I will probably find something else later. But as far as I can tell right now, that's about it for the seat features. Oh, other than a really nice headrest. There's a separate pillow on there on top of the one provided, which is great. If you can adjust the headrest very nicely. And the seat back padding's comfy and airy. Then, as I said, you have some soft pillows and blankets. And just here, waiting for me on my seat, is these beautiful looking headphones. We'll have a look and see if they're noise cancelling and all that a little bit later. Noise cancellation headphones. That's very nice. And finally, there's a menu, which is definitely something that's very much appreciated. And I would expect from Emirates in business class. But let's have a look. So on the menu, there is juice and soft drinks, mocktails, which is what I'll probably be having, coffee, tea, and then you've got cocktails, which is not for me. You can pause and read that, by the way. Then just here you have a whole bunch more alcoholic beverages. And just here you have our dinner menu. So we have tea smoked duck as the appetizer, a few different options of main course, including roasted chicken, fried coconut prawns, and wild chicken ragu. Then for dessert we have chocolate fulatini. I don't know how to pronounce that. I've probably got that completely off. We've got some seasonal fruit and a cheese selection and some chocolates. Then just here we have in the lounge, which is the previously mentioned bar. I assume it's operating on this 3 hour for freedom flight. That's the passengers coming around to greet everyone. So to conclude, by the way, the crew just came around with apple juice, orange juice and champagne as welcome drinks, which is very nice. I have been informed, by the way, that I need to try my best not to film the crew, so just so you know. Overall, the menu is fantastic. The fact that they have a bar is fantastic, and the seat is fantastic. Overall, especially for a 3 hour flight to Sydney from Christchurch on a Trans-Tasman hop, I think this is absolutely fantastic. And I really look forward to seeing what all the food tastes like and enjoying the seat features later on this flight. But so far, absolutely amazing. Cabin crew are coming around offering to take photos.
Our multi-international cabin crew on board today's flight come from 19 countries and speak 21 languages. If there's anything we can do to help you, please let us know.
The cabin crew also just came around with a wine list. The cabin crew now coming around to ask for meal orders. These hot towels actually smell really nice. Now time for pushback. Super friendly crew. Handing out these Polaroid pictures if anyone wants one.
Welcome aboard. We're about to show you the safety features of this Emirates flight, and we need your full attention. Your baggage should be securely stowed in the overhead lockers. If you're in a first-class suite, please use the stowage area provided. In economy class, you may also use the space under the seat in front of you. The window blind should be open and your seat in the upright position. Whenever the seatbelt sign is switched on, you should be seated with your seatbelt fastened. Wear it low and tight across your lap and adjust it by pulling the strap. Lift the metal flap to unfasten. We recommend wearing your seatbelt at all times throughout the flight and securing it over your blanket when sleeping, so if needed, we won't have to disturb you. Take a moment to locate the emergency exit nearest to your seat, which may be behind you. There are 10 emergency exits on the main deck of this Emirates A380. There are 6 emergency exits on the upper deck. If needed, lights at floor level will direct you to the nearest exit. From the container and pull it over your head. Bring the tape around your waist and fasten in front, pulling firmly to secure. Your cabin crew will now pass through the cabin, carrying out the final safety check. Enjoy your flight with Emirates.
One thing that I always find incredible about the Airbus A380 is how quiet it is. Even downstairs next to the engines, it's no louder than an A350, I don't think. And up here, it's quieter, almost. They have onboard cameras as well. I'll go through the in-flight entertainment later. The lights have now been dimmed for takeoff. You can't see it as well on the camera, but you can still see that there's stars. Now time for takeoff. see some beautiful mountains up here on the South Island of New Zealand. Just figured out this button here controls the minibar lights. Also, oh wow, look at the beautiful New Zealand mountains out there. Here is the window blind that I was telling you about earlier. They've activated it now. That's the wrong one. There you go. It's completely automated, and it just makes it feel a little bit more special. It's beautiful. I've just tried to connect to the in-flight Wi-Fi. So it would appear that it's actually not free even in business class unless you're a Skywards member, and you have to be over 18 to become a Skywards member, so I'm not. Here's the Wi-Fi plans. I believe, by the way, even with Skywards, it's only free messaging. And here's the other plans. $10 for 30 minutes. A little steep. For a 3-hour flight, I'm not sure about 22 USD either. But if it's the same on like a 14-hour flight to Dubai, then that's pretty good. Then you can use messaging there as well. Anyways, now that I believe we're up here at our cruising altitude, let's start going through the in-flight entertainment while I have time. So let's start off with information. There's some beautiful cameras that I showed earlier. We have a look at today's flight. Here you go. Here's some information. We're at 40,000 feet. I like that it tells you the aircraft registration as well. So yeah, there's a whole bunch more stuff here that you can look at. If we go to this, I have no clue what this does. There you go. And here's entertainment. By the way, it actually looks like an older system. I'm not sure if it is or it's supposed to look like that. I don't have anything against it, but I just thought I'd note that. So here's all the different categories. They have movies in basically every big language, I would say, it appears, since Emirates, I think, fly to 6 continents. Let's just have a look, for example, at comedy, to get a good idea of how many movies they have. Okay, well, the movie selection here on Emirates is certainly very good. It can't be as good as Cathay Pacific, because Cathay Pacic's the best, but this so far does seem to have a very wide selection of movies. It's family movies, and we'll have a look at action movies, just to give you a better idea of how many movies there are. There's definitely a lot, I can tell you that much. You're definitely not getting bored on a 3-hour flight, I don't think. So, yeah, there's many, many movies to choose from. And even for a 14-hour flight to Dubai, I think this would be pretty good. Yes, there's a lot of different languages. So there you go. Oh, there's also live TV. Let's have a look at CNN. Cool. I do kind of wish that they had free Wi-Fi for business and first class. I think they do have free Wi-Fi for first class, but I do wish that they had it in business class as well. But oh well. So that's about it for the in-flight entertainment. There's heaps more movies. I don't really have time to go through them though, since there's a lot of stuff going on this flight. But I can assure you that there is a very wide selection of movies, and you probably won't get bored. It would be quite difficult to, I think. Okay, so the super friendly cabin crew just came around to give out pre-ordered drinks and warm mixed nuts or some olives. I went for the Virgin Mojito today, which is non-alcoholic, which is what a mocktail is for those of you who don't know. They apologised they didn't load lime on this flight, so they put lemon in instead. And here it is. I'm certainly not complaining. The fact that you get mocktails on a 3-hour flight, or just mocktails on a flight in general, even in business class, I actually wasn't too sure that they would have non-alcoholic cocktails, which is a mocktail. So I'm very impressed just by the fact that they have them. But let's see how it tastes. That is absolutely delicious. And I also opted for the mixed nuts, which appears to consist of almonds, cashews, and pistachios. Overall, a fantastic pre-meal service from Emirates. The crew just came around and put a cloth on the tray table in preparation for dinner. The crew just came around with a basket of bread rolls. It's supposed to come after the meal, but for some reason I seem to often be the last to get things. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the order in which they do things. There were 3 different options. I think there might have been more, but a lot of them were gone. There was flatbread. There was this one, which is, I don't know what to call it, but it's a nice little bread roll. And there's this other nice little plain one. So I'll try them out, but they're really nice and warm and soft. Okay, so I figured out this one's actually got garlic butter inside, which is absolutely fantastic, and this one's plain, but is also fantastic. The super friendly crew just came around and handed out my full meal. So my dinner tonight consists of this tea-smoked duck, and then a little nice bread roll. This one's hard. This one's a little, not quite as nice as the other ones. It's not too soft, but it's still warm. And then for the main, I opted for the roasted chicken served with Arabic-style pomegranate sauce, pilaf rice, and steamed broccolini. For dessert, I opted for the chocolate whatever that is. The crew originally said that they didn't have any left, but they would check, and amazingly they managed to find one for me, so thank you so much to them. I'm very thankful, however, for my grandma, who I'm travelling with on this flight, who offered to give me hers if they could find one, so thank you so much to her. And also on the side you've got a little bit of butter, a salt and pepper shaker thing, and some very nice looking metal cutlery. It's in here. And a little glass of water. Overall, a fantastic service for a 3-hour flight to Sydney from Emirates. Okay, I've now tried everything for the meal. Can I say, I think that is probably the best airplane dessert I've ever had. It's like a mousse with a beautiful crispy crust on the bottom, and the raspberry sauce there just complements it so nicely. As far as I can remember, that's definitely the best airplane dessert I've ever had. Anyways, as for the rest, this was alright with the butter, not too bad at all. I enjoyed this. It was the rice and the chicken were cooked really well, in my opinion. I'm not used to having pomegranate in like a curry type sauce. I know it's an Arabic thing. I don't actually eat a lot of Arabic food, so I wasn't the biggest fan of that. I still enjoyed it a lot though, and I believe that it was cooked very nicely. The whole thing was presented well. So overall, I give that a big thumbs up. The fruits were very nice and fresh, and this starter here it was also very delicious. Overall, I've had a fantastic meal and experience so far with Emirates. Welcome to the Emirates Airbus A380 bar. This is incredible. I think Qatar Airways or Etihad's A380 has it. So you can get whatever drink you want over there. The friendly staff will be very happy to make it for you. In here you have a basket of bread rolls, some jelly beans, and some fruits. You have some beautiful looking cakes and another big cake just there. They'll also let you take photos in there if you want. It's a beautifully designed bar, and there's also seating areas which I'll show you as well. Welcome on board the Emirates Airbus A380 Lounge. It's just getting more impressed by the second. The bar out there is incredible. Anyways, now let's go through the blue features. Up you have a little bit of, I'm not sure if this is facial mist or just perfume or what it is, but it's made by a brand that I recognise. I don't know much of anything about it, but what I do know is it's pretty fancy. And there's supposed to be cups there. I think they will probably refill those soon. You've got some random amenities in there. Some towels, some paper towel, then you have some soap, a very nicely sized basin. It looks like comb. There's potentially toothbrush and toothpaste in there as well. There's air sickness bags. And it's designed beautifully. You've got this beautiful wall, a coat hook, some tissues. It's very spacious as well. You can do a full 360, and there's lots of space when you're sitting on the loo as well. It's one of the more spacious loos I've seen. I love how they've got wood everywhere in this plane. It's beautiful. So overall, it's a fantastic loo here on board the Emirates A380. Potentially the best loo that I've ever been on. So anyways, oh, and there's an individual air nozzle there. Anyways, I'm going to go back to the bar now. So, wide range of chocolates available here.
Today's weather conditions, safe travel from Sydney. The wind is variable at 5 knots and the temperature 15 degrees. If you have been over, thank you for flying with us and with passengers continuing onward journey toward Dubai. You will be 2 hours on the ground where the was going to be changed and the Emirates going to go to Dubai. Thank you for choosing Emirates and enjoy the rest of our flights.
The cabin crew just came around and handed out hot towels before landing. Very impressive. I just asked the cabin crew for a quick tea before landing. They managed to make that happen for me, and they gave me a beautiful little shortbread. We've now well and truly started our descent into Sydney. I think we might be going through the clouds because we're experiencing a few bumps. Here's another table. It's an absolutely fantastic area back here. I really wish I could show the crew because they've been incredible on this flight. Anyways, should probably head back to the seat.
Safely stowed and your electronic devices must be in flight mode or switched off.
Also, just super quickly before we land, here's the lie flat bed. It goes completely flat and it's super comfy. You have a fair bit of room to move around. As for legs, it's pretty standard for a business class seat, but definitely not too spacious on that side. Okay, so now that we'll soon be starting our approach into Sydney's Kingsford Smith International Airport, I'm going to conclude today's trip report. Well, my journey today started at Christchurch International Airport. I found check-in there to be pretty good. It opened 3.5 hours before departure, which I think is a pretty reasonable time. The check-in staff was super friendly, and there was a priority lane for business and first class passengers. Christchurch Airport itself is pretty okay. It's not particularly special, but it does the job for sure. Same goes for the Manaia Lounge, which I did a conclusion on earlier. Even though I expected a lot, once I was on board, I was super happy and excited to see the incredible business class cabin here on board Emirates. The wooden not plating, whatever you want to call it, the wooden covers and stuff on everything is just absolutely beautiful. The seats are spacious with a mini bar and all. So there's definitely nothing to complain about with the seat features. They're absolutely incredible. The crew gave out hot towels and pre-departure drinks, and then after takeoff they gave us some nuts and a drink. Meal service then followed, which was absolutely delicious, and I thought it was very well presented. I then went back to the incredible bar, which is just, as I mentioned earlier, I'm struggling to get my head around the fact that there's a bar on this plane. And all the drinks and food that's back there, because there's quite a few snacks, is complimentary. So once again, the staff were so friendly, they were eager to take photos throughout the flight. It's just a shame that I wasn't able to film them. Emirates seem to have relatively strict rules regarding filming, and they seem to just be a little bit strict in general. To conclude each and everything with a couple of words, Christchurch Airport was pretty good, but not amazing. The cabin on board is fantastic. The bar is absolutely amazing, and the crew are amazing as well. So with that being said, and also they give out menu card as well, which I appreciated a lot. Now I've been lucky enough to fly a few airlines trans-Tasman now, and I can tell you confidently that I truly believe that Emirates offers by a fair way the best product trans-Tasman. Now I haven't tried Qatar Airways Q Suite, but they're going to be stopping that service at the end of August, so then there'll basically be no doubt at all in my mind that Emirates is the best option trans-Tasman. As for the Christchurch to Sydney route, I believe, there's no business class on Air New Zealand's A320 Neo, but on Qantas it's just a recliner seat, and it's a similar price, so it's definitely worth going for the Emirates Airbus A380, which you can actually book through Qantas, as I did as well. Once again, I can't stress how absolutely amazing this flight was and how great flying for everyone who's helped to make it possible. I've had a fantastic experience. I would highly recommend Emirates. I'm not sure why people say that it's not that good, because it is absolutely fabulous. So my advice would be to fly better and fly Emirates. Anyways, you can see the full fare that I paid and a lot more information in the description. If you want to know a little bit more about what I paid for the flight, when I booked it, the cruising altitudes, if there is multiple, and all of that kind of stuff. Anyways, just enjoy the rest of the approach into Sydney's Kingsford International Airport. By the way, I actually booked through Qantas in order to get some status credits. Otherwise, I probably just would have booked through Emirates, because I was actually able to get Qantas Gold status from this flight, I believe. So check out my video on that, which I should have published probably the Wednesday before this video comes out. As for my trip reports on other trans-Tasman routes, I have a LATAM 787 and Air New Zealand 787 review on the in trans-Tasman business class, so you can check them out as well, and I'll have a Qantas one coming out in the near future. Well, that was the opposite of a butter landing that I was expecting.
سيداتي والسادة، مرحبا بكم في مطار كينغسفورد سميث الدولي، حيث التوقيت المحلي هنا يشير الساعة 7 مساء، ودرجة الحرارة الخارجية 15 درجة مئوية. تتطلب الأنظمة المحلية هنا من جميع الركاب مساءكم بكل خير.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kingsford International Airport, where the local time is 7 p.m. and the temperature is 15 degrees Celsius. Please keep your seatbelt on until the sign has been switched off. If Before leaving us today, please check your seat area for any personal belongings. If you are continuing on a Qantas domestic flight, please collect your luggage here for customs and quarantine clearance, and then go to the Qantas transfer desk. Local regulations require all passengers in transit for Dubai to leave the aircraft. I'd like to thank you for flying Emirates. We hope you've enjoyed your flight and look forward to seeing you again soon. Good night.
Quick crew, prepare all doors and cross-check. Thank you.
I believe they just turned the engines off, but you can't even hear it. It's quite incredible, really. Now time to disembark. See ya.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome to Sydney. Normally I'd say it's freezing here, but it's actually warmer than New Zealand. Let's have a quick look at the A380 before we go through immigration. Have a look at this absolutely spectacular aircraft. Well then, welcome to Sydney. I think now's a good time to finish up today's video. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoyed would be very much appreciated, but it's not necessary nor expected. Also, check out my website if you like at aviation763.com for information on upcoming flights and easier navigation to specific airlines trip reports. Also, check out my Instagram if you like at aviation763_ for live updates, including on this flight, and stories when I'm overseas, so you can see what I get up to after I film these videos. Last but most certainly not least, thank you to all of my incredible Patreons who help to make these videos possible. Their support is so much appreciated, and I seriously couldn't do videos like this or any videos at all without their help, so thank you so much to them. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one on Saturday at 5 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kingsford International Airport, where the local time is 7 PM and the temperature is 50